Well, here we are again, folks, at the most prestigious bloodbath in the galaxy. The grand Nexus Combat Arena, where dreams come to die and champions are born from the screams of the weak. I'm your host, Vextar, and let me tell you something. In my 300 years of calling these fights, I've never seen anything quite like what's about to unfold. The arena floor gleams under the crimson spotlights, still stained with the bodily fluids of yesterday's unfortunate contestants. Ah, the sweet smell of fear and desperation wafting through the recycled air systems. Makes you feel alive, doesn't it? Now, let's talk about our reigning champion, shall we? Korrath the Destroyer. 700 kills. 700. That's not a typo, ladies and gentlemen. This absolute unit of destruction has been painting these walls with his opponent's innards for the past 5 solar cycles, standing at 12 feet tall, with razor-sharp claws that could slice through starship hull plating and a jaw that can crush durasteel like it's a child's toy. The bookmakers have stopped taking bets against him. Seriously. They just laugh now. Korrath's last opponent, a Vraxian battlelord who'd conquered 17 star systems, lasted exactly 43 seconds. The cleanup crew is still finding pieces. But today, oh today, we have something special. Something that has the entire medical staff scratching their heads and the betting coordinators having nervous breakdowns. A human. Yes, you heard that right. A human. From that little backwater mudball they call Earth. Now, I've seen some ridiculous matchups in my time. Remember when that Galaxian thought warrior challenged a Norkak berserker? Or when the cybernetic hive mind collective sent their best drone against a psychic space whale? Good times. But this takes the cake, eats it, and asks for seconds. The human just walked into the prep chamber, and I swear, half the arena staff thought it was someone's pet. Standing barely 6 feet tall, weighing maybe 200 pounds soaking wet, with no visible natural weapons. No claws, no fangs, no armored carapace, no toxic spines. Just soft, pink skin and a cocky smile that suggests either supreme confidence or complete insanity. The crowd is already chuckling. Some are placing bets on how many seconds this walking meat sack will last. The current record holder is betting 15 seconds. Optimistic, if you ask me. But here's the thing that's got everyone's tentacles in a twist. This human's homeworld? It's classified as a Class CI Deathworld. That's right up there with molten lava planets and neutron star surfaces. Makes you wonder what kind of nightmare does it take to produce something that looks so utterly harmless. The arena's medical team has been studying human physiology all morning, and their reports are interesting. Apparently, these creatures have redundant organ systems, can function with significant blood loss, and their pain tolerance is, well, let's just say it's caught some attention. Ladies, gentlemen, and assorted biological curiosities, buckle your safety harnesses. Because today we might just witness the most spectacular mismatch in arena history. Or perhaps something far more interesting. All right, let's bring in our expert panel, shall we? Joining me in the commentary booth is Dr. Zelani, our chief xenobiologist, and Throck, head of arena betting operations. Both of them have been studying our human contestant all morning, and frankly, they look like they've seen a ghost. So Zelani, I say, leaning back in my chair, tell our audience what we're dealing with here. This Jake Morrison fellow, what's your professional assessment? Zelani's 4 eyes blink in sequence, a sure sign of confusion. Well, Vextar, I've been examining the biological data for hours, and I have to admit, I'm baffled. This creature appears to be held together by nothing more than wishful thinking and stubborn refusal to acknowledge reality. The crowd erupts in laughter as the main screen displays Jake's vital statistics. Height, 6 feet, 2 inches. Weight, 210 pounds. Natural armor rating, 0. Venom production, none. Psychic abilities, non-existent. Regeneration factor, minimal. Look at this, Zelani continues, pointing at the holographic display. No exoskeleton, no chitinous plates. No scales, no natural weapons whatsoever. Their skeleton is internal, made of calcium phosphate. Basically, they're walking around with their bones on the inside, protected by nothing but meat and skin. It's like they're already prepared for dissection. Throk chimes in, his voice dripping with amusement. The betting pools are going absolutely insane. Current odds are 37,000 to 1 against the human. I've had to hire extra security just to handle the volume of bets. Everyone wants a piece of this action. The Galactic Banking Consortium is treating this like a charity donation drive. But here's where it gets interesting, Zelani says, her tone shifting slightly. This human's homeworld Earth. It's classified as a Class CI Deathworld by the Galactic Survey. That puts it in the same category as sulfur hells and radiation wastelands. The surface gravity is nearly twice galactic standard. The atmosphere contains oxygen, people. That's a highly reactive, corrosive gas. The planet is covered in massive bodies of liquid that they actually swim in for recreation. You're joking, I interrupt. I wish I were. Their star bombards the planet with radiation that would cook most species alive, and they just walk around in it. For fun. They call it sunbathing. The predators on their world include creatures that hunt in coordinated packs, others that can crush bones with their jaws, and some that inject paralytic toxins. And yet, these humans are the apex predators. The arena falls quiet for a moment as this information sinks in. Furthermore, Zelani continues, their psychological profile is disturbing. They apparently seek out danger for entertainment. They jump out of flying vehicles attached to nothing but fabric sheets. They strap themselves to explosive-powered vehicles and race them at deadly speeds. They voluntarily subject themselves to physical combat for sport. It's like their entire species has a collective death wish. Throk is practically giggling now. The medical team wanted to perform a pre-fight examination, but Morrison just shrugged and said he was good to go. No meditation, no ritual preparations, no ceremonial bloodletting. He asked if there was a vending machine nearby because he was kinda hungry. On cue, the arena's cameras zoom in on Jake Morrison himself. He's stretching casually in the prep area, looking about as concerned as someone waiting for public transport. No fear in his eyes, no signs of pre-combat stress. He's actually humming. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the most confident piece of prey in galactic history. The arena horn blares, its deep resonance echoing through the massive chamber as the gates slide open with a mechanical hiss. From the champion's entrance emerges Korrath the Destroyer, and by the void he is magnificent. 12 feet of pure, murderous intent, his obsidian carapace gleaming under the lights like polished death itself. Each step sends tremors through the arena floor, his claws scraping against the metal grating with that delicious screech that makes lesser beings wet themselves. The crowd goes absolutely wild, roaring approval that would register on seismic equipment. Korrath raises his arms, flexing muscles that could crush starship engines, and releases a battle cry that probably just sterilized the first 3 rows of spectators. And then Jake Morrison walks out. Just walks. Not storms, not charges, not even jogs with any particular urgency. He strolls into the arena like he's heading to a casual business meeting, hands in his pockets, still humming that irritating little tune. The crowd's roar shifts to confused murmuring, then nervous laughter. Well, I comment, trying to maintain my professional composure. I've seen confidence before, but this is either supreme tactical awareness or complete mental breakdown. Korrath tilts his massive head, clearly as bewildered as the rest of us. In 700 kills, he's faced berserkers who charged screaming, warriors who performed elaborate battle dances, even a few who tried to negotiate their way out. But this casual indifference, it's throwing him off his game. The human stops about 20 feet away, pulls his hands from his pockets, and waves. Actually waves at Korrath, like they're old friends meeting at a space station cafe. Did he just? Throk stammers. He did, Zelani confirms, her voice barely a whisper. Korrath, apparently deciding that diplomacy is overrated, launches himself forward with the speed of a plasma bolt. His claws extend, aiming for what should be a simple decapitation strike that would end this farce in under 2 seconds. Jake Morrison steps to the side. Not dives, not rolls, not performs some elaborate martial arts maneuver. He just steps, like he's avoiding a puddle on the sidewalk. Korrath's claws whistle through empty air, and the champion stumbles slightly, confused by the lack of resistance. The crowd falls silent. In 700 kills, nobody has ever made Korrath miss on his opening strike. Ever. Interesting footwork, I managed to say, though my voice sounds strained even to my own ears. Jake turns around, still wearing that casual expression, and actually scratches his head like he's working out a math problem. Then he does something that makes every being in the arena question their understanding of combat psychology. He grins. Not a predatory snarl, not a battle-mad grimace. A genuine friendly grin like someone just told him a mildly amusing joke. Korrath charges again, this time leading with a devastating uppercut that could punch through armored plating. Jake leans back, the claws missing his face by inches, and then does something absolutely insane. He reaches out and flicks Korrath on the snout. Flicks him, like disciplining a misbehaving pet. Did that human just? Zalani starts. Yes, I reply, my professional commentary skills apparently having abandoned me. The crowd is no longer laughing. A strange tension fills the arena as 10,000 beings collectively realize they might be witnessing something unprecedented. Korrath, for his part, looks genuinely offended. In his entire career, nobody has ever had the audacity to treat him like an annoying insect. Jake, meanwhile, starts moving in ways that defy every combat manual in the galaxy. He doesn't fight like a warrior or a soldier. He fights like someone who grew up dodging deadly things for fun. When Korrath swipes with his right claw, Jake ducks under it and somehow ends up behind the champion's left shoulder. When Korrath spins to catch him, Jake is already somewhere else entirely, moving with a fluid adaptability that suggests this isn't combat training, it's improvisation. He's not following any established fighting pattern, Zalani observes, her scientific mind struggling to categorize what she's seeing. No formal martial arts, no military doctrine, no species-specific combat instincts. It's like he's making it up as he goes along. Making it up? Throk repeats. You mean he's not even trying? And that's when Jake Morrison does something that will be replayed in arena highlights for the next 1,000 years. As Korrath lunges forward with both claws extended in his signature killing move, Jake drops to one knee, picks up a handful of arena sand, and throws it directly into the champion's eyes. The crowd gasps. Zalani drops her data pad. Throk's jaw literally unhinges. He just threw dirt at a 700-kill champion, and it worked. Korrath staggers backward, clawing at his eyes, roaring in frustration and temporary blindness. Jake stands up, dusts off his hands like he's just finished gardening, and waits patiently for his opponent to recover. Like he has all day. What happens next is something that will haunt my nightmares and fundamentally change how we view combat in this galaxy. Korrath, his vision clearing, decides that subtlety is overrated and launches into his trademark berserker mode. For the next 10 minutes, he unleashes every technique that has earned him 700 kills. Claw strikes that could shred battle armor, tail whips that have decapitated entire squads, and bite attacks that have crushed reinforced helmets like paper cups. And Jake Morrison? He just keeps moving, not dramatically, not with flashy acrobatics. He moves like someone who's been doing this his entire life. Duck, sidestep, lean back, roll forward. It's almost boring in its efficiency, except for the fact that he's dodging attacks that have killed literally hundreds of trained warriors. 15 minutes, Throk announces, his voice hollow with disbelief. The human has been in there for 15 minutes. That's Zalani pauses, checking her calculations. That's longer than Korrath's last 20 opponents combined. But here's where it gets really interesting. Korrath is starting to breathe heavy. You can hear it echoing through the arena's sound system, that deep, labored panting of a creature pushing his limits. His strikes are becoming slightly slower, slightly less precise. The champion who has dominated this arena for 5 solar cycles is getting tired. Jake, meanwhile, looks like he's out for a morning jog. How is this possible? I mutter more to myself than to the audience. Korrath has the cardiovascular system of a siege engine. His species can fight for hours without fatigue, and then Korrath lands his first hit. His massive claws rake across Jake's left arm, tearing through fabric and flesh with a sickening sound that makes half the audience flinch. Blood sprays across the arena floor, and the crowd collectively gasps, expecting to see the human finally react like a normal, sane creature should react when being mauled by a living weapon. Jake looks down at his arm, now decorated with 3 parallel gashes that are bleeding profusely, and says something that the arena's microphones barely pick up. Ah, that stings a bit. That stings. A bit. Solani's medical scanner is going absolutely insane. His pain response is it's not registering normal parameters. The injury should have incapacitated him, or at least slowed him down significantly. But Jake just tears off a strip of his shirt, wraps it around the wounds with casual efficiency, and goes right back to his dodging routine. Like getting clawed by a champion fighter is just a minor inconvenience, somewhere between stubbing a toe and running out of coffee. This is impossible, Throck whispers. I've seen Korrath's claws punch through starship hull plating, that humans should be in shock, bleeding out, or at minimum screaming in agony. Instead, Jake does something that makes the entire arena question the fundamental laws of biology. He starts talking. To Korrath. In the middle of combat. You know, he says, easily avoiding another swipe, you're pretty good at this. How long have you been doing the whole professional fighting thing? Korrath, understandably, does not engage in casual conversation during Mortal Kombat. He responds with a devastating combo attack that would have reduced most opponents to component atoms. Jake ducks under it and continues the conversation like they're having drinks at a cantina. Silent type, huh? I get it. Very professional. I respect that. 25 minutes in, and something unprecedented is happening. Korrath the Destroyer, the unstoppable killing machine, the living nightmare that has haunted arena opponents for years, is slowing down. His movements are becoming predictable. His breathing is labored. Sweat is actually dripping from his carapace. Jake, on the other hand, seems to be warming up. This is scientifically impossible, Solani announces to the stunned crowd. Human endurance capabilities were supposed to be limited. Their cardiovascular systems shouldn't be able to sustain this level of activity. But that's when I remember something from the earlier briefing, something about humans and their bizarre relationship with exhaustion. On their Deathworld, they apparently used to hunt by simply following prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. Not by being faster or stronger, but by being more stubborn than basic biology should allow. They called it persistence hunting. And right now, watching Korrath struggle to maintain his pace while Jake looks like he could do this all day, I'm beginning to understand exactly what kind of nightmare their homeworld really is. 30 minutes, Throck reports, his voice barely audible. The crowd has gone completely silent. This isn't entertainment anymore. This is something else entirely. Something that's making every predator species in the audience suddenly very uncomfortable. Korrath stumbles slightly after a missed strike, and for the first time in his career, he's the one who's breathing hard while his opponent looks fresh. The champion's eyes, once filled with confident bloodlust, now show something that his species rarely experiences: doubt. Jake notices the change immediately, because of course he does. His casual demeanor shifts slightly, and though he's still smiling, there's something different in his expression now. Something that suggests the warm-up phase is officially over. You know what, big guy? Jake says, his voice carrying clearly through the arena's sound system. I think it's my turn now. And that's when the real fight begins. What happens next will be studied in military academies across the galaxy for generations. Jake Morrison, the walking contradiction from Earth, stops dodging, just stops. And for the first time in 32 minutes of combat, he moves forward. Not charges, not rushes, not performs some spectacular aerial attack. He walks, deliberately, purposefully, like a predator that has finally decided its prey has had enough time to run. Korrath, exhausted and confused, throws everything he has left into one final, desperate assault. His claws slash through the air in a pattern that has never failed to end a fight. 700 victories have proven its effectiveness. Jake Morrison catches his wrist, catches it, with his bare hands, and holds it there like Korrath's arm is made of paper instead of chitinous battle armor that could deflect plasma fire. The arena falls so silent you could hear a pin drop in the vacuum of space. "Thanks for the workout," Jake says conversationally, and then proceeds to demonstrate exactly why humans earned the title of apex predator on a Deathworld. He doesn't use claws or fangs or toxic spines. He uses leverage, momentum, and something that Zelani will later identify as applied physics with malicious intent. In one fluid motion, he uses Korrath's own momentum to flip the 12-foot champion over his shoulder and slam him into the arena floor with a sound like a starship hitting an asteroid. The impact crater is 3 feet deep. Korrath tries to get up, confusion written across his predatory features. Jake puts a hand on his chest and gently pushes him back down. "Stay," he says, like addressing a misbehaving pet. "You've had a long day. And that's it. Fight over. 700 kills, 5 years of dominance, and the most feared champion in galactic history has been defeated by a creature who looks like he should be selling insurance instead of breaking necks." The silence stretches on for exactly 7 seconds before every communication device in the arena starts screaming with incoming calls. News networks, military analysts, xenobiologists, and probably half the Galactic Council are demanding to know what just happened. "Ladies and gentlemen," I managed to croak into my microphone, "I honestly have no idea what we just witnessed." Throk is staring at his betting displays like they've personally betrayed him. The odds were 37,000 to 1. 37,000. The payout is going to bankrupt 3 star systems. Zelani, meanwhile, has pulled up every piece of data she can find on human biology and is reading through it with the desperate intensity of someone whose entire understanding of the universe has just been shattered. "Their homeworld," she mutters, "their homeworld is classified as Class CI Deathworld, but the reports they're incomplete. They mention persistence hunting, but they don't explain what that means. They mention endurance capabilities, but the numbers seemed like clerical errors." She looks up at the arena where Jake is helping Korrath to his feet with genuine concern for his opponent's well-being, and her voice drops to a whisper. What if they weren't errors? What if humans really can just outlast anything? What if their entire evolutionary strategy is being too stubborn to die? The implications are starting to sink in across the galaxy. Every military leader watching this broadcast is suddenly reassessing their invasion plans. Every predator species is wondering if maybe, just maybe, they've been looking at the food chain upside down. The news feeds are going insane. Human defeats arena champion, Deathworld species shocks galaxy, and my personal favorite, friendly alien discovers humans are absolutely terrifying. Jake, oblivious to the galactic crisis he's just triggered, is chatting with the medical team like he's at a routine checkup. The 3 parallel claw marks on his arm? He's asking if they have any bandages, because his makeshift shirt wrap is getting a bit loose. The bleeding has already stopped, one of the medics reports in amazement. His healing factor isn't accelerated, but his blood-clotting mechanism is incredibly efficient. And his pain tolerance, it's not that he can't feel it. He just doesn't seem to care. Throk, who has finally accepted that his entire career in gambling is over, makes an observation that will probably become the official slogan of human-alien relations going forward. "You know what the truly terrifying part is?" he says, watching Jake wave cheerfully at the stunned crowd. He's not even trying to be intimidating. This is just how they are. Naturally. The arena's communication system crackles to life as reports flood in from across the galaxy. Diplomatic missions are being recalled. trade agreements are being renegotiated. Several minor wars have apparently been put on hold while everyone reassesses exactly where humans fit in the galactic power structure. And Jake Morrison, the friendly insurance salesman from Earth who just redefined what it means to be dangerous, is asking if anyone knows where he can get a decent sandwich. Because apparently conquering galactic champions makes humans hungry. So here we are, 3 hours later, and the galaxy as we know it has fundamentally changed. Jake Morrison, our new arena champion, is sitting in the Victor's Lounge, eating what appears to be a sandwich made from 7 different alien delicacies, chatting with reporters like he just won a local bowling tournament instead of reshaping interstellar politics. The arena management, in a stroke of bureaucratic genius, has officially retired Korrath's championship title and created an entirely new category called Deathworld Division. Apparently, they've decided that putting humans against regular species is roughly equivalent to using antimatter weapons in a pillow fight. It's only fair, the arena director explained in his press conference, his voice still shaky from what I'm pretty sure was his first encounter with existential terror. We can't expect our traditional champions to compete against creatures that evolution apparently designed as a practical joke on the rest of the universe. The betting pools have been restructured. The Galactic Banking Consortium has issued a formal apology and implemented new risk assessment protocols. Throlk has been promoted to head of Impossible Outcomes Management, which is apparently a real job now. Meanwhile, diplomatic channels across the galaxy are buzzing with activity. The Vraxian Empire, who were apparently considering humanity as a potential conquest target, have sent a fruit basket and a formal peace treaty. The Nexus Trade Federation has upgraded Earth's status from minor agricultural world to approach with extreme caution and maybe some flowers. Several universities have established new degree programs in human studies, though I suspect the curriculum is going to be 90% educated guessing and 10% running away screaming. Zelani has submitted a research proposal titled Why Evolution Apparently Hates Everyone Except Humans, and early indications suggest it's going to revolutionize our understanding of Deathworld biology. Her preliminary findings include gems like they voluntarily consume ethanol as recreation, and their idea of relaxation includes subjecting themselves to controlled explosions for entertainment. As for Jake Morrison himself, he's scheduled for a victory tour across 12 star systems, though I suspect it's less about celebration and more about the Galactic Council wanting to keep very close tabs on what humans are capable of. His first stop is apparently a diplomatic dinner with the Andromedae Command, who have requested that he please not bring any Earth food, Earth drinks, or Earth anything. Really. The arena will reopen next week with new safety protocols, updated medical facilities, and what the management is calling species-appropriate matchmaking. Translation: they're never putting another human in the regular division again, and they're considering background checks that include planetary classification ratings. But perhaps the most telling sign of our new reality is this: every military academy in the galaxy has just added a new course to their curriculum. It's called Asymmetric Warfare and How to Fight Enemies Who Don't Follow the Rules. The textbook is apparently just a recording of today's fight with a note that says study this and pray you never have to use it. And Jake Morrison, the man who single-handedly convinced an entire galaxy that maybe, just maybe, we've been thinking about this whole advanced civilization thing completely wrong. He is asking if anyone has directions to the nearest gift shop because he promised his wife he'd bring back a souvenir. Ladies, gentlemen, and newly humbled apex predators, welcome to the age of humanity. May whatever gods you worship have mercy on us all.